There's these 9 signs that tell us we have a greater calling. And I want you to look at these and see where we identify these 9 signs that you have a greater calling. The first is you feel discontent with your current life. You feel discontent. There's a restlessness going on. There's something inside that says that why do I not have peace? Why does things not feel fulfilled? There's something else, and we have this sense of being discontent, that I'm going through life and it just seems like there should be something else I should be doing in my life, and there's this unsettled feeling that's going on. Well, if that's happening, it's proof that there's a greater calling. Second is you just feel lost, not just content. You feel like you're going in the wrong direction. Maybe there's a sense of complete hopelessness. That what else could there be? And there's this idea that I'm just lost, and as a result, I feel so disconnected. And where can I get connected? Well, if you're feeling lost, that's a sign that there's a greater calling in feeling lost. Third is that you dream of living a different life. Has anyone dreamed that? I think most of us that's an island away from everyone else where I live. I'm in the sun. And we dream of this different life. And you know, our dreams change as we get older. And what I dreamed when I was 12 was a little different than what I dream now. But in the process of my life, there was times where I was dreaming of something else. I was dreaming beyond where I was. I was yet to dream, what would God do? What else could I do within my life, that there's something else that I'm possibly called to, and there's this dream for this other life, this other place, and that's a good thing. That's a stirring within us to dream for something else. Fourth is you're jealous of others. We look at someone else and there's a jealousy that's within us and saying, like, why can't I have what they have? Not coveting, but a jealousy. Maybe there's someone who's walking in their calling, and instead of saying, how do I walk out my greater call, I'm annoyed by them. And you know why you're annoyed by them? Because they have a joy because they're serving in their calling. You ever notice that really happy people make you frustrated because you're just happy all the time? Gosh. There's joy. It's supernatural. And so what is it in us that I feel jealous for someone else who's displaying this incredible joy? Why is that? Well, I'm discontent, I'm lost. There's a whole bunch of reasons, but it's real. It's an honest feeling that happens when I look. Instead of going, man, how do I get that life? Instead, I get jealous of it, and I retract from it. The fifth is you want to change. That's evidence as one of the signs that you earnestly, that there's something in you says, yeah, I want to change. I want to make a difference. And now that stirring begins to happen, and that I want to walk in a different way within my life. There's a desire to actually change my life. There's a desire to begin to head in this new direction. Fifth or sixth, what happens is we live in regret. We're constantly living in a place of regretting everything. Just regretting decisions we've made, regretting relationships we have. Those are fun people to be around. Regretting everything that's going on, and we just wind up, well, if I'm feeling that way, maybe there's a sign in the midst of that regret that there's a greater calling within my life. And then here's what happens. Number 7, you believe you have a greater purpose in the world. All that starts to transpire within our life, and then we begin to say, I believe I have a greater purpose in this world. That there's something in me. There's something more that I can do. That there's a greater purpose within my life. And what I can tell you is that's absolutely true. But this is part of that stirring that takes place. I believe there's something else. I can remember in my own life just kind of being locked in, chasing after things of the world, making money, doing all the stuff. And it felt like it was just something like a Ferris wheel I couldn't get off of. It just went round and round and round and round. And I would go, is this it? Is this the fulfillment? Is this what life's going to be for the next 20, 30, 40 years that I go around and around? There's got to be a greater purpose. There's got to be something more that I could be part of in the world. There's got to be something more that I can do to have some kind of impact. And then what happens is number 8, you begin to have compassion on those in need. There's a sense of a greater calling, that there's something now inside of us that says, I have a compassion, but I have a Jesus compassion. A Jesus compassion is when he looks into the crowd and he has compassion on them and he feeds them. Or a Jesus compassion when he looks to one who's afflicted or sick and he brings healing to their life. Or Jesus compassion when someone's possessed and their life is in turmoil and he casts out what's in their life to set them free. That we have that compassion, that same compassion for those around us. That we begin to be less focused on ourselves and become to have more of a focus on those that we're encountering. This holy compassion stirs within us and it's saying, you have a greater call. There's a greater calling in your life. Number 9, you come to a place and you realize, I want to help others. That I want to give back. I want to serve people around me, that there's something I want to be able to do that has an impact on someone else's life. There's some way that I can serve at some capacity. And, you know, it's interesting as a pastor, I get these phone calls every year or emails or whatever they are, that people out of the blue begin to reach out. I haven't seen them forever, you know. Some people don't even come to church but just know me, and all of a sudden they're reaching out. And it's as we get closer to like Thanksgiving and Christmas. And the reaching out is always, hey, is there a soup kitchen that I could serve in? Hey, all of a sudden there's this thing that they go, I think I'm supposed to do something and help others. And I believe that's honest and earnest. But I only get that notification once a year. I wish it was every week. Yeah, actually, there is a way that you can help others. There's incredible ways if you respond to the greater calling in your life. That's how we begin to walk in it. These markers remind us that we're not satisfied with the life we have. That's what they do. I'm not satisfied with the life I have. And what does it do? It puts a desire in me for a greater calling that God has.